Are you looking to improve your twitchiness and your fast twitch muscle fibers so you can be a more explosive athlete? Well, here are going to be the 10 exercises that I recommend that you can do to improve that fast twitch muscle fiber type. Let's get to it. Hey there, Brandon Spilly here from Thirst Gym, and if you're looking to be a faster, more explosive athlete, having fast twitch muscle fiber is going to be crucial. Now, some of this is dictated purely by genetics. You can't control some of it. However, you can begin to adapt some of your muscle fiber types to be more fast twitch and twitchy-based activities by doing what you're doing from a training perspective. And so that's where doing fast twitch exercises and more explosive-based exercise can help you be a more explosive athlete. Now, if you are an endurance-based athlete, doesn't mean there aren't things here that can't help you be more explosive. You might be able to need some of that, but more than likely, you're probably going to be a more explosive-based athlete already using those fast twitch muscle fibers. Now, what I really like to do here, we're going to talk about a couple different contrast method things. And contrast method just simply means that we're going to do a heavy compound-based exercise, and we're going to pair it with more of a twitchy and reactive-based exercise. And so what this allows us to do is called post-activation potentiation. It lets us be able to upregulate our system so that we can be able to push out more from our nervous system on the following thing that we do. So if we pair a heavy exercise with an explosive-based exercise, we're going to get more from that explosive based exercise than if we just did it by ourselves. And then we're going to do that for a certain period amount of time, and that's going to help improve your ability to improve your fast twitch muscle fiber output and the way that your muscle fibers might be designed to help you be a better athlete. So here are going to be the 10 exercises that I really like to improve that twitchiness. Let's get into them. All right, the first exercise I'm going to recommend here is a Bulgarian split squat. The reason I like this exercise is one, we're going to be a single leg stance, which most athletes need to be in to be explosive. They're performing off of one leg. I also like that we can load this in numerous ways. Dumbbells, kettlebells, sandbags, med balls, barbell, safety bar, doesn't matter. You can load this exercise up pretty heavy. And we're going to be able to develop the glutes, the hamstrings, and the quads specific for our sport. So what we're going to do here, I'm just got 2 dumbbells. I'm keeping it kind of light here today, but I'm going to make sure they got enough room here to be able to sit my hips back. Hitting those reps nice and explosive. We could really load this up, okay? So I really like this for about 3 to 5 reps on each leg. Then once I'm done here, then I'm gonna come over to my box here. And I'm gonna do a propulsive lunge with load. So we're basically gonna take that same exercise that we were doing, and I'm gonna be in a cross-based position here. And so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this dumbbell and bring it across my body, being as explosive as I possibly can, making sure it's pushing me continued to go forward. So we're gonna pair these up for about 4 to 5 sets. And again, just match your reps. If you do 5 reps here, do 5 reps on each side there. If you do 3 here, do 3 on each side there. Anywhere in that area is going to be fine, but these are gonna pair up nicely because you're gonna be able to go heavy, and then it's gonna feel like you're going really far forward on that propulsive lunge, but it's also not gonna bang you up and prevent you from being able to push your Bulgarian split squats too hard. All right, the next contrast-based thing I really like is doing a front squat paired with a plyometric. So I'm gonna walk this out forward, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. I also have considerably more load on here, but we're gonna make sure that we do our front squats again, relatively heavy. So I'm gonna come here, make sure it's up on my shoulders, good quality front squat position, down, boom, up explosive. So with your front squat, ideally, again, same thing kind of with the Bulgarian split squats. You want to do about 3 to 5 sets of 3 to 5 reps being explosive. You want a little bit of speed behind these. These shouldn't be completely maxed out heavy to where you're struggling to get reps. Play about that 80-85% range of your 1 rep max, being as explosive as you can. And then you're going to come over here to this next exercise. All right, our next thing that we're going to do is we're going to come over here and do some plyometrics, and we're going to pair this up. Now, we're going to do a broad jump to a box jump, but we're going to pair these 2 exercises together. That way we're working forward and vertically. So regardless of what sport you do, this can benefit you. So I'm just going to do a quality forward jump, broad jump here, and then jump up on my box and then step off. So I want to make sure that I'm being as explosive as I can and staying nice and springy. So we're gonna go straight from that broad jump into that box jump. And just like what we did with the split squats, we're gonna pair this up. So if I did 3 reps on my front squat, I'm gonna do 3 reps here to my broad jump to my box jump. All right, this next exercise is gonna be a standalone exercise, but we're gonna build on that broad jump. So we're gonna do what are called reactive broad jumps. So we're just gonna pair these broad jumps together to stay explosive. And we're gonna use the stretch shortening cycle so that we can go from one jump into the other and stay explosive. And this is one of my favorite broad jump variations. So what you're going to do is you're going to start here and you're just going to sequence those broad jumps together. And then you're just going to come back to the beginning, same thing, pairing those jumps together. Now, I really like pairing these for about 3 to 4 reps together and doing them from about 3 to 4 sets for 2 to 3 reps. So at least do 2 jumps, but I think 3 to 4 is kind of the sweet spot, and then you can control that. You want to make sure you stay springy, you're not landing too hard on your feet, and you're trying to go one right into the other and right into the other. And again, it's going to pair that stretch shortening cycle up. It's going to let you stay explosive, and it's going to build that twitchy fiber moving forward, especially for like track and field-based athletes. All right, another exercise that I love, but we're gonna go from a single leg perspective, are split squat jumps. So we're just gonna be in a split squat position, and we're gonna do these as high as we possibly can, one right into the other. So we're trying to be fast and twitchy. We wanna go right into the next one. Bound, 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 right into the next one. So again, we're gonna benefit off that stretch shortening cycle. We're gonna make this very specific to one leg at a time. So I'm gonna come here, down, trying to stay as explosive as I can. Again, I really like these for 3 to 5 sets of 3 to 5 reps on each side, staying as explosive as you possibly can. Want to make sure you get ample rest in between each set. Again, something you could do standalone. You could pair this with your Bulgarian split squats as well if you wanted to. The reason I don't is I don't feel like I can give a high effort into these as much as I can with the propulsive lunge with the load. But again, not gonna knock it. I've definitely done it. It works great, but I think this works great as a standalone plyometric that you can just do just about anywhere and get more explosive off of just one leg. All right, the next thing I love are different hurdle hop variations. Now, I've just got one here set up off the top of my head. There's tons of different hurdle variations that you can do. This is just one way to combine several different ones. So I've got a hurdle here and 2 in front of me, and what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go side to side on the first one, and then jump over this one, and then land on a single leg on the next one. But I really want to see the hurdle hop variations here, that it doesn't really matter what you need. You can tailor them more towards your sport, and you can play with that. And if you have questions, just let me know. I'd be more than happy to help you and guide you in some of those. But the key thing here is to stay springy and explosive and get a mix of different hurdle variations. That way we've got a high variety of things and we can stay more athletic. So again, here I'm gonna go 2-way on the first one, jump over this one, jump over the second one, and land in a single leg stance. I'm gonna go here, try to stick that one a little bit better here. So one more time, again, boom, 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 stick. So I really like this because we get side-to-side movement, we get forward movement, we get vertical movement, we get single leg absorption, which is going to help improve the hip stability, make sure they're also stable at the knee, and we land in an athletic stance. So there's a lot of things that you can benefit from this one, but you could literally just take all 3 of them, do them this way. You could do them sideways. You could do them single leg. You can do them side to side with one leg. Lots of different hurdle variations. I really like this for anywhere from 3 to 5 sets of 2 to 5 runs through, depending upon how many hurdles you got and what kind of drills you're trying to get out of it. The key thing I really like here, I'm trying to make sure I'm not doing more than about 15 jumps in a whole set. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4 with a landing. So if I do that for 3 reps, that puts me at 12 for that particular leg, and then I can do the other side. But you get the idea. Make sure you're including hurdle hop variations to stay explosive and springy. They're going to help you benefit from the stretch shortening cycle again, but also reducing that ground contact time so you can immediately go into the next athletic thing you need to do. Next, we're going to do what's called a demo deadlift. But here's the thing. I'm going to do it with a kettlebell instead of a barbell. So I'll link the demo deadlift video in the description box below so you want to see how to do it with a barbell. I think that's great. But for most athletes, I think just doing it with a kettlebell is going to be just as convenient, and it's just going to be a little bit more comfortable. You don't have to worry about hitting yourself in the legs. So I'm just going to come grab a moderate kettlebell. Does not need to be heavy, okay? This is going to be an explosive exercise with a moderate to light load. And what we're really going to do is just hinge and then use that hinge to be explosive, but then go right into the next one. So we're going to try to use that stretch shortening cycle of our hamstrings, but we're going to load it up. And this is going to be for high reps. So we're trying to really fatigue those motor units from being explosive. And then what that's going to carry over to our glute and our hamstring strength. So as we go to run, sprint, jump, change direction, we have that high endurance repeated power. So from a kettlebell perspective here, we can come down, and if you want to really get gnarly with it, you can drop it, catch it, and then go again. That's going to give you more yielding factor of being able to stop and control that twitchiness and the contractibility of your glutes and your hamstrings. But I really like this for 2 to 3 sets of 15 to 20 reps. Again, high reps, low weight, being as explosive as you can. So hopefully you can see how I was trying to be fast, bring my hips and my glutes to that kettlebell. Again, if you want to do the barbell variation, totally okay. I'll have that link in the description box for you. Let's talk about the next exercises in this similar family. All right, the 9th exercise I like. This is more of an accessory-based exercise, but is a banded kettlebell swing. So we're gonna take the band. I got it wrapped around my kettlebell. I got it choked here on the handle. And then what I'm gonna do from here is I'm gonna actually step in the band, get in a nice wide position with that band here, and I'm gonna perform my normal kettlebell swing. But what's nice here is the band is gonna, one, stretch as I throw it through, and it's gonna stretch as I come to the top. So it's gonna make sure that I have to stay explosive, but it's also going to, again, give me that overspeed aspect on my glutes and my hamstrings. It's gonna help develop more twitchiness. So from here, boom, 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 boom. So notice I'm trying to be as explosive as I can with the kettlebell. Again, you don't need a stupid, crazy, heavy kettlebell. You need a moderate band, a moderate kettlebell, being as explosive as you possibly can. I like something like this for about 8 to 15 repetitions. You know, obviously at 8 repetitions, you're gonna push the weight a little bit more on the kettlebell, but the goal is to stay explosive. You can't stay explosive. The kettlebell's either too heavy or your band tension is too much. So just find a nice blend there, and that's, again, gonna develop that good quality explosiveness in your posterior chain, which is gonna help you run, jump, and be a more explosive athlete. All right, the final exercise I like here is a side-to-side rotational med ball scoop toss. And I had to put an upper body exercise in here, even if you want to be twitchy and more explosive. And this one is more of a full body-based approach. We're still going to train our trunk, our midsection, our abdominals. I think that's great. But we're going to be in an athletic stance, so we're going to focus on receiving that ball and then getting out of our hip and throwing that ball. So that's why I think this works great for a lot of athletes, is that one, it teaches us more of an athletic stance, how to absorb force, how to create force, and it's help develop the fascia system throughout our body, which is then ultimately going to make you springier, twitchier, and more athletic. So you're actually going to face the wall forward, and you're going to start with the ball in your pocket, okay? And then what we want to do is we want to go from here, use my hips and my abdominals, throw it as hard as I can, and then right into the next one. But notice as I catch, I'm getting back into my hip each time. So here, so notice I'm going rep into rep into rep. I'm absorbing that force, creating as much force as I can, and using my hips, which is then going to be ultimately make you twitchier in the hips and the torso as an athlete. Great for rotational athletes, great for anybody that's got to receive stuff. I really think this is just a great overall athletic movement for any athlete, but I can definitely see how baseball, softball, and different rotational athletes would gravitate towards this exercise. Again, I like this for 3 to 5 sets, about 6 to 8 throws per side. You could also do this for time for 10 to 15 seconds, trying to get as many reps as you possibly can in that time frame. All right, that's going to wrap up today's video on my top 10 exercise to be a twitchier and more fast twitch muscle fiber based athlete. Now, we talked about some contrast exercises that you can kind of pair together to use that post-activation potentiation, which I think is fantastic. And we talked about a lot of single isolated based exercises that I really just like for overall athleticism and twitchiness. So really, as long as you're using some of these exercises, your training program is probably gonna be pretty solid in terms of making you more twitchy. I would not take all 10 of these exercises, throw them into one program, and hope for the best. I would pick and choose a couple that you think are gonna work best for you based upon where you're currently at, what kind of sport that you play, and where you're at in season-wise, because that can kind of dictate a lot of things as well. So if you haven't enjoyed today's video, I really appreciate if you smash that like button, share with a friend, leave a comment, subscribe. Again, I really appreciate all that. If you happen to like the video, just let me know as well. I'm going to continue to try to make more videos like this in the future. So thanks for checking in, and I'll see you at the next video.